Hello, dear students, Yawan students, welcome back to Remote Learning for TTC. Again, my name is Teacher Emma. I'm going to be taking you through today's lesson. And again, I want to remind you, we are still within the foundations of education. And the focus today is another interesting one. We're looking at knowledge-based versus competence-based curriculum. What is our main objective of this lesson today? So we want to see that by the end of this lesson, we should be able to define the term competence and the related concepts, but also be able to differentiate between competence-based versus knowledge-based curriculum. And finally, we should be able to appreciate, my friends, the benefits of a competence-based curriculum. Great. Nice. Now, my dear friends, as usual, as you all know, to support continued learning, so Rwanda Education Board is partnering with World Bank, UNICEF, and other partners to support remote learning for all levels of education, including TTC. In this lesson, we shall be learning about competence-based curriculum in accordance with Unit 5 from the Year 1 Foundation syllabus. And I'm calling upon our dear tutors, Year 2 students, and Year 3 students and parents to join us in this interesting lesson. So my friends, specifically, we're going to be learning about what a competence is and what makes a competence-based curriculum different from a knowledge-based curriculum, and why the Rwandan government chose to use a competence-based curriculum. Ensure, as usual, that you are in a very free environment and free from noise, and make sure you have a pen and a notebook. Are you ready? Great. Now, my friends, as usual, I have a warm-up for you. Are you ready? And by the way, please note down always the warm-ups that I give you, because you can also use them during your teaching practice. Okay. Do you still remember? If you're happy and you know? Can we go? Let's try that again. Remember, practice makes perfect. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, stamp your feet. If you are happy and you know, stomp your feet. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show. If you are happy and you know, stomp your feet. If you are happy and you know, nod your head. If you are happy and you know, nod your head. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show. If you are happy and you know, nod your head. If you are happy and you know, do them all. If you are happy and you know, do them all. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show. If you are happy and you know, do them all. Perfect. You are wonderful students. Now, my dear friends, you have your pen, you have your notebook. Are you ready? Very nice. To help you start thinking about this topic, I want you to listen to the following scenario and be ready to reflect upon what you have heard. Mugabo wants to learn to drive a car. he buys a manual and reads all about traffic rules and how to operate a vehicle. After he finishes reading, he thinks he will be ready and able to drive the car. Now, my friends, I want us to reflect on this scenario. Do you agree with Mugabo that he will be a good driver after reading the manual? Do you agree with Mugabo that he will be a good driver after reading the manual? Great. No, I don't either. Why do you think that? What is Mugabo missing? I want to give you time to think and write down your ideas. I want you to write down what you think Mugabo is missing in order for him to be a good driver. You have a few seconds to write them down. My friends, did you come up with some good ideas? Well done. Let me share some of my reflections. Mugabo only learned about driving in a theoretical way. No doubt, he has acquired knowledge that will help him in driving. But driving is a competence, something that requires more than just knowledge. Mugabo is missing the practical part of learning to drive. He needs to gain the skill of steering, using the brakes, the accelerator, blinkers and wipers in different road and weather situations. He also needs to have developed and apply certain attitudes which will keep him safe on the road, like patience, respect for rules, concern for others, and a healthy fear for the danger involved in driving. Now, my friends, being a good driver is a complex competence, but one that is very important and useful in today's society. If people learn to drive like Mugabo, what do you think might happen? I want you to say your answer loud. What do you think if all people learn to drive the way Mugabo did, what would happen? Yes, I agree. We could have lots and lots of accidents. The story in the warm-up has given us a little picture of what a competence is. But let's be sure that we all have a common understanding. I want you to listen carefully as I read some definitions. Please write them down, what I say, in your notebook. A competence is the ability to perform a particular task successfully. Let me repeat. A competence is the ability to perform a particular task successfully, resulting from having gained an appropriate combination of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Remember, we looked at and said Mugabo needs the three: the knowledge, the skill, and the attitude. The knowledge, he needs to really have great knowledge about traffic signs and traffic rules, but he also needs the practical skill of driving. How do I start the car? How do I maneuver the steering wheel? How do I brake? How do I accelerate? How do I use the clutch? All that. But he also needs the soft skills. First of all, how do I become patient on the road? How do I respect rules? How do I really have concern and care for others? Are we together, my friends? I will say that again. A competence is the ability to perform a particular task successfully, resulting from having gained an appropriate combination of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Knowledge refers to information and understanding. Skills refers to abilities. Attitude also refers to feelings, value, and opinions which usually guide the behavior of an individual. To be successful in the real world situations, people need competences in all kinds of areas. They need to apply their knowledge and skills together and hold an appropriate attitude. And hold an appropriate what? Attitude. Have you met people with a bad attitude? Have you had issues with such people? Yes, I have, for me. This is what will help you or help them succeed in school, at work, and even in a family, and everywhere. That's why educational leaders have come to recognize that focusing mostly on helping students acquire knowledge is not enough. In line with this global trend, Rwanda Education Board revised all levels of primary, secondary curriculum to become competence-based. A competence-based curriculum can be abbreviated as CBC. Remember that a curriculum is a document that describes what students need to know and be able to do in the course of study, with ideas on how that should be taught and how learning should be measured. Let us learn some specific characteristics of a competence-based curriculum. Listen carefully and try to note down some keywords in your notebooks. A competence-based curriculum is designed to help students apply their learning with confidence in real-world situations. Another one is a competence-based curriculum has greater purpose and meaning for students because it connects to their personal lives. Are you noting them down? Great. Again, a competence-based curriculum focuses on assessing what students can do with what they have learned. In other words, this is called performance assessment. Again, a competence-based curriculum, it is designed with an end in mind, by imagining the type of citizens the country desires and needs. Once more, a competence-based curriculum is meant to be taught in a learner-centered way. In our previous lesson, we saw the difference between the learner-centered pedagogy versus the teacher-centered pedagogy. And lastly, a competence-based curriculum focuses on mastery, which means that the teachers should not move on until students demonstrate their abilities. It is very important for a teacher to understand that when we are teaching, we not only teach to finish the syllabus, but we also teach for understanding. So my good friends and teachers to be, that is also very, very important. that on top of you trying to teach to finish the syllabus, you must bear into mind that students must comprehend and understand what is being taught. My friends, the Rwanda competence-based curriculum for basic education was implemented starting from 2016. However, today, some of the teachers, a few, still struggle to implement it properly. They tend to teach in a style that is more teacher-centered and focused on imparting knowledge to students. Let us learn some characteristics of a knowledge-based curriculum so you can see the difference. Listen carefully and try to note key words that I say in your notebook. A knowledge-based curriculum focuses on what students can memorize rather than what they can do. Which are the key words there? Memorizing than what student can be able to do. A knowledge-based curriculum also has the teacher taking the lead in the learning process by providing content and dictating notes. Have you seen such type of teachers teaching in such a manner? A knowledge-based curriculum also measures students' learning after a period of time through pencil or pen and paper tests. Whereas, remember, in a competence-based curriculum, we do the ongoing or formative assessment. Another point is that a knowledge-based curriculum ranks a student's performance against his or her peers, not against a specific standard. The performance is not rated upon the individual abilities of learners, but they are done in comparison with other students. And lastly, a knowledge-based curriculum uses records and reports which show only scores without indicating what specifically students do well or do poorly. My dear friends, is the difference between the two types of curriculum becoming clear now? Good job. Now, let us do an activity using what you've learned. I am going to read different statements and I want you to decide if you think the statement describes a competence or if you think the statement focuses only on knowledge. Make a thumbs up sign if you think the statement is describing competence and make a thumbs down if you think the statement focuses on knowledge. Note that the thumbs down is a sign. Does not mean that knowledge is not important. Are we together, my friends? Or useful? It's just a way of distinguishing between the two. Are you ready? Let's begin. Using plant fibers, Emmanuel is able to make a mat properly. What is that? Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What is that? Yes, thumbs up, because making a mat using banana fibers, that is a competence. Gentil is able to list the materials used to make soap. Thumbs down. That is knowledge. For it to be a competence, she would need to practically make up soap. Remember, she was able to just make a list of the materials that we use to make soap. In other words, she has the knowledge. But that does not necessitate that someone knows how to do soap. Let's continue. Kagaba is able to write a formal business letter properly. Okay, I want to see your thumbs up or down. Yes, thumbs up. That is a competence. Number 4. Mwiza is able to plan a lesson and teach with confidence. Perfect. Thumbs up. That's a competence because he's able to plan her lesson and is able to teach with confidence. Odila is able to draw the steps of plant germination. Odila is able to draw steps of plant germination. So my friends, that's thumbs down, for it is to be a competence if she would need to practically be able to plant a seed and grow them successfully. Dennis is able to drive a car. Thumbs up? Thumbs up, yes. That is a competence. He's able, he has the ability, he has the skills, and he has the knowledge to be able to drive a car. Did you get all of those right? Wonderful, my friends. So, my dear friends, I guess or I think you are able to distinguish between knowledge-based curriculum and the competence-based. So, as teachers to be, always bear in mind that as we teach students, we need to make sure that we not only impart knowledge, but we go beyond an extra mile to make sure that they have the necessary knowledge, which is good, but also they have the abilities for them to be able to use the knowledge and transfer that knowledge into action. Are we together, my friends? That's something very, very important that you should not forget as a teacher, that as we teach in the CBC or in the competence-based curriculum, we need always to be very creative and think of several ways that can help students learn, not just by memory, but practically be able to do whatever or apply the knowledge they've learned in a more practical manner. Are we together, my friends? Now, we are coming to the end of our lesson. As we conclude, let us review some of the key points that we learned today in our lesson about competence-based curriculum. Rwanda started using a competence-based curriculum in 2016 at all levels of education from pre-primary to secondary. Our competence-based curriculum relates the learning more to real life and expects students or learners to apply a combination of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. To implement the CBC or the competence-based curriculum, teachers must change their way of teaching to be more learner-centered or more learner-focused. Number 4, assessment of CBC must go beyond paper-pencil exams to include frequent checks for mastery and performance assessment for the real-world tasks. As usual, my dear friends, before our lesson ends, I have a homework for you. In this assignment, I want to give you assignment so that you try and apply what you have just learned about. Write justification for why Rwanda shifted from a knowledge-based to a competence-based curriculum. Why do you think so? Let me repeat. Write justification for why Rwanda shifted from a knowledge-based curriculum to a competence-based curriculum. My dear friends, our lesson of today has come to an end. Student, teachers, and parents, Thank you for your participation, and my dear tutors, I know you've been so handful in helping students answer some of the questions. This lesson has been developed by Rwanda Education Board, World Bank, UNICEF, and also Help a Child, Right to Play, and IE Rwanda. Please tune in on radio always to participate in the radio lessons for TTC. Until next time, goodbye.